Hi everyone. I'm sitting down here in my quiet laundry room and I have some things that I want to say because I do think I've had some valuable experiences the last couple of weeks, and I've kind of been not saying anything to anyone because I do have Democratic friends and family that I love dearly. And so I just want to start this off by saying that this is definitely not a confrontational video, but more informative. So there is a lady, and this is really specific if you live in Utah. If you don't live in Utah, then this is not very helpful for you. There recently I did get involved more with local politics, and I am a co-chair of my precinct. And so I was able to go to a county convention, which, if you know what that is, great. If not, it's not really a big deal. It's how you get local leaders on the ballot. And once becoming a delegate, I basically have been flooded with phone calls and text messages and mail stuff from candidates. And I've gotten to talk to, people on the phone about different issues concerning our state, and I've been able to think about a lot of things that weren't kind of on my radar at first. For a long time, I have been seeing my Democratic friends encouraging their Democratic friends to change their party affiliation to Republican so that they could vote out Mike Lee. And I've taken a really long time to think about it and whether I really want to say anything. But today is the last day that you can actually register in Utah. In order to vote in a primary, you have to be registered as a part of that party. So if you want to vote in the Republican primary, you have to be a Republican. You have to be registered as a Republican. And so I've been looking at this candidate, Becky Edwards, because I don't hate Mike Lee. I don't agree with everything that he does, for sure, but as far as who aligns with, my conservative ideology, I need to know who's going to be closer to that or not, so I looked into her, and I had some questions come up because she did post in one of her stories about it was a repost from someone who was changing their affiliation. It's unclear whether it was Democrat to Republican. However, if you go to their profile, it's pretty obvious, what their political beliefs are. But in the post, it wasn't necessarily clear, right? I've seen multiple posts from her, and there was a town hall that I was going to go to in someone's house, or, like a little meet and greet that I wanted to talk to her because I wanted to know her opinion, about all of these people changing their affiliation simply to kind of manipulate the Republican Party. Because to me, it feels a little icky. But it also feels a little understanding because when I had been talking to my state senator, who's currently running to be in the state Senate again, I had just asked him questions about gerrymandering because I kind of hate that too. If you don't know a lot about Utah, there's one big city and it gets hacked. And it got hacked again this year because obviously it was a census year. And I wanted to understand why it was that they had chosen to do that. And his response was not appropriate, in my opinion, and I really wish that I could vote him out. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot of options who are running against him, but definitely it was a huge bummer. So I just decided I was going to go to this meeting and I was going to talk to Becky Edwards. Now, at the convention, last week, there were tables set up where you could go and talk to people, and I didn't assume that she was going to be there because she had just some representatives. Now, I was excited to sign her petition so that she could get on the ballot. Now, in order to get on the Republican primary, you either have to get so many signatures or you have to win the delegates in your state. There's a state convention, and you have to get so many votes from delegates. And she will not get enough votes from delegates because most of the people see her as an imposter, and they don't like her. So that is what it is. And I understand the way that they feel as well. Both feelings are quite valid. But I was very excited to sign her paper because I would like to see her on the, I felt like I would like to see her on the ballot. I don't mind, So I signed her paper, me and my friend who were there together as delegates. And then she walked in the room, and I got to tell you, my heart raced and I almost chickened out. But my neighbor was like, go ask her your question. Then you don't have to go to that meeting. And I'm like, you're right. I would love to have to not go to one more meeting because I really did want to ask her these questions. And when I first asked her about the gerrymandering question, I got the right answer. I mean, she was like, yeah, it's kind of a bogus answer. And it's true. Like, those people deserve representation. And I agree. Like, I kind of look at it as, why is that a big deal for one district in our state to have Democratic representation? Because that's what they are. Anyway, but then when I brought up the other stuff about, I wanted to know her feelings about Democrats, changing their affiliation. Because I can guarantee you that they're not going to know any other people on the ballot and they're not going to care. And even they might find out and vote for someone wacky. It's really, it really has the possibility for being really manipulative, and more than just, even if you're doing it for, kind of a good cause. So she sidestepped it. And I also understand why she sidestepped it, and it's because it's the possibility of getting her on the ballot. Like, it's the possibility of her being able to be elected. Because whoever has the Republican nomination in the state will get the seat. There's no competition as far as Democrat versus Republican as far as the Senate seat is concerned. So I understand why she sidestepped it. But... and she kind of just claimed that more often than not, it's just independents who are changing, or Republicans who are not registered, which I do think is valid. But it was a bummer to hear that. And the more that I've looked at her, that same night, I listened to speeches from many people who are running for that Senate seat. And I kind of there was this other lady, Allie Isom. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but she's another lady that is running for the Senate. And I do believe that she has enough signatures. I'm not sure. I tried to find on her Instagram page really quick, but I listened to her and oh boy, I liked her. So if we're talking like unseating Mike Lee, if that's really truly what people of the state of Utah want to do, or if that's something that you're interested in and you are actually conservative and you do want someone to be a conservative candidate to go up against a Democrat rather than a moderate, and you don't like Mike Lee, I think that she's definitely worth taking a look at. I think both Mike Lee and her will be on the ballot. Mike Lee will get the delegates. He will. I mean, just listening to that room of people love Mike Lee. The delegates do. And what can you do? But it would be nice if she could be on the ballot as well, and we could have another option. If anything, to get her more PR, because I really would like her to be able to be in the Senate. And if not in Mike Lee's position, there's no way that Mitt Romney is getting elected in Utah. Again, it's not happening. It's really not happening. So my hope is that if she doesn't win, that she'll go for the other. But anyway, I just felt really like it was important to let my Utah friends kind of know a couple of these things. I mean, if they're on the fence about Mike Lee or this Allie Ipsum, ugh, I can't even say it, or this Becky Edwards lady, she's moderate and she's kind of getting snuck in by Democrats, which I don't really like, but I don't think she's going to get enough signatures. I haven't noticed where she was at, but I don't think she's going to get enough signatures. But even still, I mean, good for her. Good luck to her. Good luck to the Democrats. I just have to say this. I just feel really strongly, especially with everything that goes on, in other countries that only really have one political party. I don't agree with a lot of the Democratic ideology, but at the end of the day, I really don't want them to go away because I think that we keep each other in check, and I think that that's really important. So, those are my thoughts. And Democratic friends, I love you. Even if you are trying to openly manipulate the Republican Party, I understand. And I love you even still because of it.